Hi guys to everyone. Today, let's say, is a special day for Poison Rock because we have a legend. Just say David Vincent. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. So I want to ask you first, David, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Great to talk to you.
It's a pleasure, and I'm following Ultimas since the first album, and wow, that's it's an amazing project. All of you gathered together. You did something beautiful. I mean, I love everything, the song, the artwork, and the personality in the band as well, because it's like I say, it's a super group, legends being in one band. But of course, before talking about Ultimas and the upcoming album, Epic, it's a really epic. I want to ask as well, like everyone knows your background, like your journey throughout this huge and amazing band you've been through as well. I know as well that there is let's say, a little bit, correct me if I'm wrong, a little side of country music in you as well, because I remember something that you played in a blues country way, if I'm right, uh, a
Yeah.
long time ago. So I wanted to know as well that because a lot of people knows you for being this huge vocalist that you are, musician, bass player, but not everyone knows they are I don't know, a different side of David Vincent. So I want to ask you a little bit about your beginning musical background, like let's say just a small David Vincent going on throughout the jungle of world and get in touch with the bass for the first time, the vocals, your first earliest influences. May not be metal, doesn't matter. The first early influences and everything.
Well, let's see. I was taking piano lessons actually when I was 6 years old, uh,
Wow.
at the behest of my mother. She's also a pianist, um, and I showed an aptitude towards music at a very young age. I was always, listening to the radio and singing along with what I heard and what I was exposed to. Um,
Yeah.
remember my grandmother giving me one of these small children's records players when I was a kid, along with what she thought to be sort of age appropriate music to listen to, and it was a lot of kid stuff,
Yeah.
um, Sesame Street kind of stuff, um,
Yeah.
and of course that wasn't really my interest. I mean, I wanted to hear
Yeah.
songs songs. I think the one of the first records I ever got was Black Sabbath Paranoid,
Yeah.
and that was a life changer for me. Of course, because I grew up. I mean, you listen to what's available to listen to.
Yeah.
Mother was a fan of Neil Diamond and Frank Sinatra and Herb Alpert and the Beatles and this, and so I listened to all that music as well. I wanted to listen to anything and everything. And it's just, I don't know, it's something that's always been a vocation for me, making music. Yeah,
Yeah.
I fast forward and I'm living exactly the way I was meant to be.
Yeah, but that's the beauty. And if for example we think because of course, like I said, you are doing one of the most incredible paths in the music journey, in the music field and the music scene, because you always keep being through with yourself. And that's what I like about you as a human being, as a character, because it's not a character, built up in the music scene. It's you, is your integrity. And if you, for example, if you have to, with your eyes of today, take a look to the young guy that was playing kid piano, what would you say to the kid, for example? And like, would you ever imagine to be such big influence for everyone in the music scene? Everyone.
Well, you know, it's very humbling that I've been fortunate enough to be able to work with great musicians
Yeah.
over the and create some stuff that I'm certainly very proud of. What I would tell that kid is just keep doing what you're doing, because
Yeah.
until until you make it part of yourself. Like, again, there was a piano in the house, and my mother, at her behest, I took piano lessons, but it's not what I wanted to do. I did it, because that's what I was being led to do. It's not that I didn't want to do music. I just didn't think the piano was going to be the instrument for me. because I was so inspired by, electric music, guitars, bass, rock music, heavy metal music at that time. So, piano really wasn't something that took
Wasn't your
hold.
way. Yeah.
Wasn't going to be my thing.
Yeah, and of course, like you just pick up, like, of course, like you go closer to as a first instrument to the guitar, or was straightforward to the bass.
Well, I played bass before I played guitar.
Okay.
I played in the school orchestra. I had a bass. Now, I wouldn't say that I was super serious about it then. Basically, if you take music in school, then you get out of class, and there was a girl that I was sweet on who was also in the orchestra. So
Yeah, to impress her.
Yeah. So
But
I did that.
and that's beautiful because you, like I said, you're in this Ultimas project. It's and I could say probably I would say we can count how many times I would say it's amazing, it's incredible. Let's count it. Maybe it will be 10,000 times. But of course, you've been known as well for being, and now keep on going with this I Am Morbid, which is, I love I Am Morbid. You have an amazing guitarist, which is Bill Hudson. There has been there. Now there is as well Pete Sandoval. How it's been, as well, because Bill is amazing. I know him as well. Having back, like with Pete, because of course you're old friend. It's like having being in the oldest time.
So yeah, Pete's an amazing individual.
Oh.
He certainly, nobody plays like him.
No.
I mean, he has his own style, and it's not about just speed or whatever. I mean, he just has a signature sound to him that is very unique, and it's very Pete.
Yeah.
And, I really appreciate it. Of course, the fans really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this is my life. I make music, I write songs, I record songs, and I perform songs, and that's it's what I love to do. I couldn't imagine choosing another path. I just couldn't imagine it.
It's already written, since you were, like you said, it's even in your bloodline with your mom, and maybe with your aunt giving you even a book, something to listen to. It's something that you have in your bloodline, so it will pass on throughout your bloodline as well. I think, and I believe. Of course, like I said, you are on I Am Morbid, but as well there is Ultimas. So this band is same that we can say that actually it started around 2015 to be taking shape or something.
Yep.
Okay. So of course, people, I know, of course, they know Ultimas, but there is always someone that is saying, "Oh, David Vincent. So what? Why? Who is Ultimas?" Maybe they don't know exactly about Ultimas. So just really briefly, of course, this person throughout the music scene, but how you arranged to be all together and just put this super group. I mean, because it's a super group.
Listen, I don't think that's the best word to use. In fact, I felt like, the label kind of said supergroup to begin with. And well, listen, I'm super excited about the band, and I'm super happy with the members of the band. But oftentimes when you use the word supergroup, it kind of means, oh, this is like a novelty, and it's, only a project, for one thing or another. And this is a band. This is a band that we put a lot of love and a lot of sweat and tears into, and and we're serious about it. And I think it probably took having a second record for people to be, oh, well, they are serious about it. Okay. So
thank you for clarifying that, because this is true. Sometimes supergroup, the name like supergroup is being put in there by the label, just taking musician for big band, making some project, and then just go each out for his other way. And Ultimas is not that. So let's say that we are mentioning supergroup because it's formed by well-known and big musicians. That's what it meant in our world, let's say.
Well, no, I get it. I always like to clarify that, only because oftentimes that term.
You're right. Thank you. Yes.
People think, oh, it's just it's a one-off, it's a novelty, it's a project.
We need more music. No.
Yeah. Well, Well, and unfortunately, and it took us a while to get to this record. We had started writing it actually before COVID,
Oh,
and
happy.
the way that we write, we write together, like sitting in a room together.
That
Um,
like the
we
old
we just we don't just do file
days.
sharing, you know.
No, and I think you can
So
hear that. I think you can hear that. I said, I think you can hear that. Like there is not from the single that has been already released to single. I think you can hear it. Hear it. There is not like, all digitalized in the room. There because if you as well knew each other for a long time, it's all the best way working all together in
yeah,
a room, having fun, drinking something, play out some riff. That's the best with the all fun way. Otherwise, how people can perceive that they put the energy, the toughest energy of the band, of any band in the world, I would say.
well, we a lot of the energy and the magic that it comes from being in a room together, and that way you can be spontaneous. Other
Yeah.
than that, if we all just sit at home and write stuff and send it back and forth, it doesn't have as much input as it will. There's no room for spontaneity
No.
in the writing and the arranging and any of it. So
Yeah.
getting together is really, I mean, that's the way it was always done in the past by all by
Yeah.
all the great bands that I love did
Yeah.
it just that way.
And I think that's why today, like I said, you and the other guy the other musician in Ultimas is like it's really an influence as it is for every band, bigger band as well, and new bands. But of course, times changes, and sometimes people forget, like the most simple things, which is being together. And I still see, some guys, and they are always stuck in the underground scene. So sometimes it's sad seeing this beautiful soul having beautiful band doing in a let's like they call it today DIY thing, like really homemade, like properly, like the old times. But and the one that go home, moving on, are the one that go to compromise with label. They go to compromise with our integrity, working too much. It's okay going, with this kind of technology stuff, but let's be honest, the truth and the most being humble, a bit be true to yourself is just sitting in a room. I don't know, have a beer, have a coffee, whatever you want to drink, and have a laugh with your friend, or like they call each other today, homies. And that's yeah. There's a lot of guys that I'm sorry they are stuck in the underground, but that's what keeps them through. And I know because there is a guy that's really influenced by you, and is I hope they will get out of Canada one day. He's going on, he's fighting against the let's say to show there's something as well in the native, for example, scene, Native American scene, and is struggling to get out in the world. It's not easy. It's just 26, 27, but it's always, I just want to say that because when I told I was talking to you, it was like, I don't believe it. I will believe it when I will see it. So I will see it later. But just coming back to Epic, because this is Epic. I mean, of course, the first album, it went super well. And I think kind of put that Ultimas, because I remember the name, I remember everything about when the first album came out. So what is, like you said, you do that when there was the pandemic around that time. But how was it working then? Because we had a lot of restriction going on.
Well, we couldn't get together. I mean,
Okay.
they weren't, it's not like we all live next door to each other.
Yeah.
Gosh, if that were the case, we'd probably be on our fourth or fifth record right now.
Mhm.
It's traveling, and when they tell you you can't do this, and I'm like, I'm not used to people telling me that I can't do something. Maybe they doubt, they're like, oh, you won't be able to do this or whatever. But fine, I'll take it. But when literally they say, no, the airport is closed, you cannot get buy a ticket and
Yeah.
fly to Europe, and they're not allowed to come here either. So I'm like, wow, that was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But thankfully that chapter is closed, never to
Yeah.
be reopened, by the way.
So,
And
yeah.
it very dark period for everyone in the world, I think.
Yeah, and that kind of let's say that when you gather together to write Epic, to write it down epic. Of course, it's beautiful because already, correct me for the pronunciation is wrong. Miserere is out, and Scorcher 2, amazing video. We can hear your sound, we can hear Blasphemers, everyone's sound decently because you kept, of course, your print. But there is the Ultimas print, like, sound. How we could define it? Because, of course, it's a musician with different background as well, kind of, because music is a whole, say, roof. But as well, like, how could be Ultimas being different from as well your other project, like I Am Morbid? What makes Ultimas unique in a kind of way?
So I guess the thing is that, you'll hear similarity. You'll hear things that are familiar to you because obviously, I've done a lot. Blasphemer's done a lot. Flo has done a lot.
Yeah.
So you'll hear the personalities of the way that we do what we do. So think about like when you're making a meal and you have familiar ingredients. It's just a different recipe.
Yeah.
So, the ingredients everybody knows. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. We all have. So, when we put that together, that's our sound. And I feel like it's pretty unique. I don't think we really sound like anyone else, which makes me happy.
Yes, exactly, and that's what makes, like, I think Ultimas really well required and around the globe, because it's not a phenomenon. It's not something that it's located in one part of the world, like in one country. It's spreaded, and it's like let's say a positive epidemic. It's like this is a new let's say spreading instead of a COVID virus, of a musical virus, but in a good way. Like the cure for what it's been through.
Yeah, well, I like that. I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's what I hear, at least, what I perceived. And I'm going, because, of course, from the first record, what if there is any difference, like the sound-wise, I don't know, or you still kept the same vibe musically going on? What do you think changed mainly?
Well, I mean, experience. Every day that we spend on this planet, we learn things and we're exposed to different that either stimulate us and cause us to think and cause us to react. From a musical standpoint, it's expanded. It's also a bit more direct.
Yeah.
A little more bold, a little more iconic. Thus the name. Yeah, but I mean, we're on a roll here, and we already have several songs towards the next record.
Okay.
So,
okay. Yeah.
We have a lot. We have an awful lot, and we're going to do this as long as we possibly can.
I mean, I think we might be ready for here decades of. I mean, better than me. I don't have to tell you. You are on that road for really a lot, and since you started as a young teenager, as a young guy, and you are here today, you see that people never left you, never. Always, you have one of the biggest, really fan base throughout the world. People really you inspired a lot of people, and everyone in the band as well. So I think Ultimas, it's one of the projects that will inspire, further people, bands, musician, human being. Because it's not only musician that you guys, musician, inspired, as well human being. How we receive your music and how can help your music to go throughout the life, because it's already tough being in this place where we are in this globe. It's a suck sometimes. So, but
everything is a challenge. There's no question. The music business is a huge challenge. I mean, it keeps changing. It's difficult from the business side to do stuff. Now, it's not difficult to be creative. It's just difficult to find a way to, to get it out there. Yeah,
to pursuing is difficult for anyone. It's difficult for the bigger band just keep on staying big as they are. It's difficult for the I don't know, even for me as example, just I should just dig in the water and keeping, you know, my own integrity. Like this is not a job that I want to be paid of, and people saying try to monetize it, and I don't want to. That goes against my value. Maybe I can go in a concert and say, okay, maybe I don't know, someone is giving me an accreditation. That's my payment. That's okay. Just have fun with them. People don't understand these things, and it's always sometimes people want to do better than you. They want to be this kind of not this. I don't know. I think we all should be united, but you know, that's the word. And to be completely brutally honest, and I think in every field, there will never be everyone united. We can try, but it's tough. But coming back as well, of course, about Epic, lyric-wise, which is the main inspiration on Epic? Because of course the name Epic can claim a lot of things. Epic, for what is epic from your perspective in life or in this album?
All right. So my vision for this was, you know, I'm inspired by things that are from the old that are still strong.
Okay.
That would be philosophy. That would be basic fundamentals of honor and honesty, love of nature, not accepting subpar anything in your life, always fighting for truth, always seeking to gain more knowledge. All of those things are part of, and you know, we have there are things that are as old as human history that are still the fundamentals that I feel like the world in many respects is getting away from that. I'm not getting away from that.
And
in fact, I'm promoting that because I feel like when people actually take the time and to think about themselves, to do sort of self-reflection in how they can, how they can improve their own lives and how they can improve the lives of others, I think the world is a better place.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm all about.
And that's when you mention especially like philosophy and nature itself, those are all things that were the fundament and the base of the really old ancient time, century, 1,000 years ago. That's what that they created the first word of democracy and republic, which is Latin res public, was by the Greek. But I think we never saw actually a real one of that. I think it was stayed maybe all in the Greek world. So that people should get, like you said, even teenagers, especially them, took those books, when they had in school, I'm studying philosophy, I'm studying history, I don't like it. Just stop a little moment and just read it. Even reading is something that is getting lost if you don't watch it.
Well, this is what causes a lot of problems because people don't care about history or they don't know history.
Exactly.
And as they're going through life thinking about making decisions about stuff, if they make decisions based only on emotions, then the world becomes more selfish. When we learn history and we can tell what works and what doesn't, because there's really nothing new. Okay.
No.
There may be new technology, there may be new medicine or science, there different ways of doing things.
Yes.
But the human condition remains the same. And if we learn, the sooner we can learn and accept things are a certain way, then how do we improve that rather than just continuing as a human race, continue to make the same mistakes over and over again and somehow think it's different.
Yeah, exactly. And I studied 9 years history at university. Was a little bit, you have all the type of history, medieval, contemporary, whatever, even from Sicily, and everything that you were reading, it was going throughout the sources of the time. So not only the book, so you can have two different sides, let's say the left and the right, so you can have your own idea. And every time it was circling. It's a wheel of history. It repeats all the time. So we should take a look to what happened even in the Roman Empire, Greek Empire, medieval times. I don't know, even French Revolution, whatsoever. It's always like that. And
Yep.
even now, it doesn't mean that if we have, let's say, 100 years of peace instead of having 100 years of war, what happened in the famous battle, doesn't change anything, because tomorrow might change everything. So
That's true. No, correct. Yep.
yeah, and that's the worst things, that before, really, is centuries ago, nature was at least kind of, let's say, respected in a certain way. Now, let's say that we ruined that. So we should take a huge, big step back and look at nature as a whole, because that's our house. That's really our house. We're kind of guests of it. So, and
Yep.
I like you putting that on this in this album. Like for example, there is a song that's um, like nature's fan. It's a kind of take influences for, of course, the nature, because in this is the title of name itself. Like, I don't want to say manifesto for nature, but kind of exploring what's going on around this, let's say, this natural disaster, the nature itself. It's about nature itself, of the nature of the human being.
Mm-hmm.
So what is mainly about, for example, nature's thanks?
Well, I mean, as it's, I think the story is pretty clear. Now, it means a lot of things. I was inspired by that because I actually got bit by a rattlesnake. So, that's what gave me the notion about the fangs. But more importantly, the notion that we should, people live in big cities, and they see concrete and cars and other people everywhere, and they don't learn to have the respect for nature that we probably all ought to have. I don't live in a big city on purpose. And
that's good.
These are things that, again, I call attention to things that impact my life, and I add entertainment value to it. And sometimes it's very dark, sometimes it's very ugly, but that's okay. That's the entertainment value, but the emotion is 100% pure.
Yeah, and living in a smaller place, even this distance from bigger cities, for me, it's kind of not, let's say, not properly healing, but that's something that I prefer as well. It's of course personal, but not living far from big. You can go always there for, do whatever you want to do, but just going back home after a long day, and just you're there surrounded by nature, by silence. This is the best way of living, for my opinion, and that's something that I want to promote in my own way as well. Because my main job is being a naturopath. So that's what I want to bring throughout, even some interviews, saying, let's talk about nature. It's not bad, because sometimes music, nature, and all this can go along. There's, like, for example, the folk music that takes a lot from nature. That seems something that to be spreaded. Any type of folk, even folk country, folk northern, it talks about the folklore of a place, which is beautiful and interesting. People forget about the roots, the roots where they grew up sometimes, and that's really
right.
Yeah, but in all these songs, of course, except the single that are already out, before they're released, that is on the 15th of, so let's say almost the day after tomorrow is the 13th. So there is some single release or some video clip with the release of the album, or we will see straightforward the release of the album.
So we're doing, actually, I'm doing tomorrow.
Okay.
Excuse me, it's tonight. I'm doing a band camp. We're streaming the whole record.
Okay. I'm gonna
doing questions and answers. But unfortunately, I can't do it for so many hours. So it's for American time zone.
Yeah.
But and then it goes live later this week.
So, and then there will be the all the album, of course. I think of knowing you as a as a huge icon. I think there will be, of course, the physical copy of the album, not only the streaming one. I think you are one of the few that still today love the physical copy. So I think that people can have the physical copy of Epic.
Yeah, well, I'm personally a fan of physical, and I'll tell you, I got a small shipment of the records from the label the other day,
Okay.
and the packaging is just stunning. I mean, it's even better than I would have imagined.
Wow.
You know, you see, they send photos or like computer generated. Hey, here's a mock-up. Here's a sample of what it's going to look like, and everything was approved. But when I actually held it in my hand, I'm like, my God, this is beautiful. They just did such a good job with the packaging. I'm super happy with that.
As well, the artwork is beautiful. Every artwork you're having and every video clip, there is a lot of work and effort behind it. But come on, what we can expect from professionals? It's just, I mean, I don't know what is just, it's perfect. But there is really one song that you would like to list to advise to let's say, for example, someone that is buying Epic. So let's say now I wanted to buy Epic and say, okay, Jude, let's go to listen to that song because I think they can help you, or let's go from the first to the last is better in your opinion.
Well, when I listen to records, I usually go from first to last.
Okay. You want the right advice.
So, well, listen, I mean, there's a lot of diversity on the record. Okay. I mean, there's different. There's stuff that's super fast. There's stuff that's slower. There's stuff that's mid. You know, the tempos are all over the place. There's just, you know, it's literally it's the most honest and organic thing that I've ever done. Just sitting and pushing and you know, along with my wonderful musical partners, we just worked it. I mean, gosh, thankfully we had only a limited time in the studio because we would probably still be there, you know, still adding, still doing. And at some point you just have to be like, okay,
this is the album. I want to ask you about David, about the live shows. There's some live shows planned, some tour planned in the next month. Okay, everything is already confirmed, so you can say some like when it starts.
Yeah, sure. I'm actually flying to Europe on Monday.
Okay.
We have some obviously some rehearsals and some other business. You know, probably have to do some photo shoots and what have you. But we have, you know, a handful of record release shows, and you know, playing in several different countries, and then later this summer we come back and do festivals. Okay, so they said that we can see Ultimas all over the Europe and the world as well. So all of our dates, as they're confirmed, go up on our website. Yes. Ultimas.com. And we look forward to performing. You know, none of these songs have ever been performed live. So oh my God, this is going to be amazing. We're looking forward to it. I think that your dates, your gigs will be packed for sure. That you know that better than me. How does it work? I don't have to explain it to you. What can I say, David? It was really a big honor, I have to say it, to meeting you. And thank you. I don't thank this team. Don't take this for granted. Thank you, really. And it was really a pleasure. Thank you for your time, for your honesty and everything. Yes, ma'am. The pleasure was mine. I appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you out on tour somewhere. Yes, me too. So stay in touch and have a good rest of the day. Thank you so much, Dave. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. In silence, no